Welcome back. Believe it or not, it's already time to start thinking about kids going back to school. Parents, students, and teachers are getting ready for the first day. So today we're joined by Boise Police Department's Crime Prevention Supervisor, Ed Fritz, to talk with us about safety as kids head back to school. Ed, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
So first of all, what would you want parents and students to know as they get ready to go back to school?
I think first and foremost, we just want parents to talk to their kids, just communicate with them, whether that's, safety things that they want them to know about, rules they want them to follow. But even if they have any concerns with, the kids have any concerns going back to school, knowing that they can talk to their parents. And at the same time, if they don't feel comfortable having that conversation with their parents, what other adults can they talk to, whether it's a counselor at school, whether it's a teacher at school, or even our Boise Police student resource officers that we have throughout the district.
And you just mentioned those student resource officers. What role do SROs have in helping students succeed?
They have just a huge, wide variety of roles they can play throughout the school day or even school year from the role of, assisting the educators and the staff at school to acting as a counselor, a mentor, things like that to the students themselves. There's obviously the officer role they have to play, and that's enforcing, laws, but enforcing the rule side of that. I think the biggest thing to remember with our SROs is just their focus is not always on putting a kid inside the juvenile justice system and trying to punish them. Oftentimes they can work through the schools, work through the staff, work through the parents, and truly try to find what's the best solution for that child.
Now, I know we talk about this every year around this time, but how is BPD making sure drivers are following the rules of the road, especially near school buses and school zones?
Yeah, as always, we will have additional patrols out around those school zones, those school areas. And so it's time for the drivers that are going to be driving through those schools areas back to school and encountering buses to kind of remember those laws and be aware that we're going to be out there enforcing that. Then that could be anything from the laws around a school bus in the stop arm and making sure people are stopping and yielding properly for the safety of the drivers and the students, to those school zone violations, anything from speeding in a school zone to crosswalks and everything. And so just a good time for a refresher for everybody. And so they're not unfortunately getting a ticket during that time.
And you just mentioned some tips there, but what are some other tips for parents and kids so they can, stay safe before, during, and after school?
First and foremost, we want to get kids to school safely. And, the tips kind of vary depending on the age of the student, from your grade school kids all the way up through middle school and high school. And so first and foremost, if they're walking to school, if they're biking to school, if they're busing or even driving to school, for some of the younger students, making sure we have those safe routes planned out for them, so they're walking and going to and from the school every single way. And if they do encounter, some dangers on the way there, where's those safe places that they can go to? Who are those safe people that they can talk to, even at the school, from, the teachers to the guidance counselors to the SRO? When they're at school, talk to them things about, conflicts and bullying, things of that nature. And if they see something like that, how they can report it to, who they need to report it to. And finally, just the after school piece, which it falls in a lot to kind of the summer safety we talked about. If a child's going to be at home alone for an extended period of time without mom or dad or an adult around, of, making sure the door is locked, making sure they know who to answer the phone for, making sure they know those emergency numbers in case they need to get hold of mom or dad or any other emergency services from there. And if biking comes in, which we see so many kids right back and forth to school, making sure they're wearing a helmet and keeping their head safe.
All right, a lot of good tips there. Ed Fritz with the Boise Police Department, thank you so much for joining us here on the News at Noon.
Thanks, Jira.